What is a website that you think about when I mention the 90s and early 2000s? Is there a fond memory that you have of some long-forgotten forums, or maybe a page of useless information? There was a moment not long ago when I found myself wanting to step back into the older path of the internet, do some nostalgic web browsing. In that space between nostalgia and curiosity, I came across a website I had only heard about in passing, Zombocom or Zombocom. At a glance, the website appeared simple and strange in its own way. But as I lingered, I found it revealed more than its surface suggested. Zombocom became something I looked deep into not out of necessity, but because of what it represented. In today's video, we'll be exploring Zombocom, its origins, its evolution, and the cultural meaning behind its existence. And while it may seem on the surface like an internet artifact of little importance, its significance of internet culture as a whole says something deeper about our expectations with the internet.
Welcome to Zombocom. This is Zombocom. Welcome. This is Zombocom. Welcome to Zombocom. You can do anything at Zombocom. Anything at all. The only limit is yourself.
Zombocom is not a typical website. Upon arrival, you are met with a gradient white page with a colorful title of the same name, and rotating discs that imitate a loading icon. And then there's the voice, confident, comedic, and inviting, repeating phrases like,
This is Zombocom. Welcome to Zombocom. You can do anything at Zombocom.
You realize after a few moments that there is no real purpose, not any real navigation. There's nothing to do in the traditional sense, and yet you want to stay and listen. Nowadays, websites are designed to grab our attention with movement, buttons, infinite scrolling, and interactive content. Zombocom does the opposite. It invites you to stay, and it holds you there. In the stillness, you realize that Zombocom was not trying to compete for attention. At its core, it is intentionally minimalist, and perhaps even meditative in its presentation. Zombocom was created in 1999 by a group affiliated with the George Washington University Center for Professional Development. It began as a joke, more specifically a parody of Flash-based website intros which were common at the time. These intros would delay access to the actual site content, often featuring elaborate animations meant to impress visitors. Zombocom took this model and extended it indefinitely. Instead of leading to a homepage or navigational menu, Zombocom is the intro. The original site was built using Adobe Flash, a platform that has since become obsolete. As of January 5th, 2021, due to the end of support for Flash, Zombocom was recreated using HTML5. In this transition, subtle changes occurred. The iconic voice message now loops seamlessly, and a newsletter sign-up, once a fake link reinforcing the joke, was removed. What remains is a preserved experience, one that no longer depends on outdated technology but still holds on to its original design. The original Flash version also included a hidden detail, a message embedded in the HTML code that read, "Please visit 15footstick.com, our other website. Thanks." That site was also a parody. But in the HTML5 version, the comment no longer appears, making the transition not just technical but also symbolic. The modern version has been stripped down even further, leaving only its core. Zombocom may appear to be an isolated and curious nostalgic trip, but it has resonated far beyond its small digital footprint. Video game producer Bill Roper named it as his favorite website, as did David Rowntree, drummer of the band Blur, who once stated that Zombocom, quote, paraphrases the internet by promising everything while delivering almost nothing. Joel Veitch, a known web animator, called it the least useful website, yet even in that statement, there's recognition of its endurance. Critics and internet writers have both mocked and praised Zombocom. The PC World magazine listed it among the internet's 10 most useless sites, while the advertiser referred to it as, quote, the most welcoming website on the internet. The praise may seem paradoxical, but it's meaningful. Zombocom, despite its lack of traditional utility, remains emotionally resonant for many people who experienced the early days of the web. To understand the reaction, one must consider what the internet was in 1999. A rapidly expanding, loosely structured space where exploration was still the norm. Zombocom embodies that period, when not every website was designed with efficiency or monetization in mind. Its joke, if it is a joke at all, is not mean-spirited or dismissive. It simply is, and that, in today's web, feels rare. In January 2024, a version of the original Zombocom was made available using the Ruffle emulator, allowing modern browsers to experience the original Flash animation. It was a preservation effort that I greatly admire, as a fan of emulation and preservation of all forms of media myself. It's not unlike archiving an old film or video game, and this act of keeping Zombocom alive suggests that its value isn't just in nostalgia, but the role that it plays in the cultural history of the internet. There are many reasons why someone might return to a website like Zombocom. For one, it could be a reminder of something that the internet has lost: slowness, unpredictability, and silence. Every other page online is trying to lead you somewhere, to convince you of something, to sell you a product, or to occupy your time. Zombocom does none of that. It's a pause, a moment suspended in time. It's a reminder that the internet once had room for the absurd, the useless, and the unstructured. There's no reason to stay long at Zombocom, but when you visit, you are connecting with a version of the web that was more about the experience rather than the function. Zombocom, by all conventional measures, does nothing. But in doing so, it invites reflection. It invites questions about what websites are meant to do, what visitors expect, and how minimalism can sometimes speak more loudly than complexity. In an era of endless information, Zombocom still echoes a message: you can do anything. It's a phrase that's meant to be ironic, but also strangely motivating. It's both a parody and a promise, held in space by a looping commentary and a loading icon that leads to nowhere. It's a reminder of what once was, and how even the most seemingly insignificant digital spaces can leave a lasting impression. So again, I will ask, what is a website that is nostalgic to you? I have a lot of great memories browsing the internet as a kid in the early 2000s. My usual go-tos were Newgrounds, GameFAQs, and the original World of Warcraft forums. So seeing a website like Zombocom is refreshing, and it does make a guy long for the simpler days. But anyways, that's all for now. Be sure to turn on notifications and check out this video over here. You'll probably like it. See ya.